Salutations, everyone. It's finally time to talk about Stadium. Put quite a lot of time into it by now, and early on my experiences were a lot like this. You do something cool, like, I don't know, get a 5-man. Well, I know a little bit of help of Juno's overpowered rockets, but still a 5-man nonetheless, and oh, somebody left. And that was just every single game for the first month of Stadium. So that sucked. That sucked. The quick play crowd is what was more so drawn to this game, or maybe newcomers or people that haven't played the game in 1, 2, 3, 7 years. Were maybe like, oh, this is completely different. Let's give it a try. You know, oh, it's got like a Deadlock or Valorant style, purchasing system with, all these different wacky and fun abilities. This could be fun. And it saw a lot of success out the gate. But with that success came the crowd of people that, I'm sorry, it's the quick play crowd that just leaves every single game. Is doesn't matter. If they're winning, they'll leave. If they're losing, they'll leave. If the game just start, they'll leave. If the game's getting close to the end, they'll leave. That's I guess what happens with certain kinds of people playing this game. You guys know I'm a competitive player. I mainly play the competitive mode because I like having only 4 teammates instead of 14 teammates because everybody's leaving the game. And that's all quick play ever is. And that's all Stadium was, except there was no fill because for some reason they made it competitive. I don't know why they made it competitive. I know there's a non-competitive crossplay available mode that they will be launching, but that's what it should have been in the first place. Adding some sort of like competitive carrots at the end of this stick, I think was a bad idea. This game mode shouldn't be the sweaty, let's take it serious competitive mode. Overwatch already has a great, amazing mode, and we already have fucking MMR to, match make us with people our own skill levels, so it doesn't make sense to also add the competitive mode elements to this, where people are going to leave and sabotage and throw your games that are going to last super long because they have to go to 4 rounds, because even with 3 rounds and you hit the 15k disparage limit, sometimes the games wouldn't end. Even when there's a lever on your team and you're down by 18k, sometimes the mercy rule was not enacted. I don't know why. They then shortened that to, I forget what it was, 12 or 10k, and that's still usually not triggering. It's still usually not hitting that threshold. I haven't seen it not trigger so far, but you're almost never hitting that threshold. So yeah, this game mode, it should not be competitive. It should only be non-competitive and cross-play, so everybody can play together, because that's this is the wacky, let's have fun with our friends game mode. That's what it should be. They put a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of effort into this game mode. A lot of people think that they chalked this up on a weekend to answer to Marvel Rivals, which of course is impossible because that's not how video games work. And we know that this has been in development since before Overwatch 2 launched, and they had to make brand new maps and 100 different, items and abilities and graphics to this. Granted, it's only for, the few amount of characters that we have right now, and they'll be adding some every single season, and that's great. It does suck that we only have this small amount of characters to play with right now, and it will steadily grow because I think we're getting, Sigma and Zenyatta, and maybe probably also a DPS, I forget, in the next season. And we only added Freya this season, and apparently she was like super OP for 2 days, so they got rid of 2 of her items. They didn't even nerf them, they just got rid of them for like 5 days and then re-added them in a much nerfed state. I didn't get to play the game when it was in that state, but I assume, yeah, it was an issue and it needed to be resolved, because they've been pretty good at dealing with super OP broken things like Juno and her missiles. That was insane. It was fun, sure, because you would get 5Ks every single team fight, because you would have 2 rockets that would then go on super duper cooldown because you hit a lot of people with them, and they would also explode. But it was super unbalanced, and it sucks to be on the receiving end of it. And they dealt with that, not as fast as they did with the Freya thing, but they did deal with that. The soldier visor for 0.5 seconds was then nerfed to 0.3 seconds. And they've made a lot of buffs and nerfs and changes to a lot of things in this game, it is still the most imbalanced game mode that I think we've ever seen. Because, this is the mode where everybody's overpowered, and when everyone's overpowered, no. There are still more overpowered characters. Sure, this Ana or Lucio may be overpowered in your regular 6v6 comp modes if they were allowed to play like that in those modes, but then going up against Mercy or Juno's abilities to be OP in this game mode, it does not compare. It just does not compare. There are so few amount of characters in this game, and even fewer of them are actually playable. You only can pick from 5 tanks, but if you don't pick one of the 3, Orisa, Reinhardt, or Zarya, you auto lose. If you pick Junker Queen or D.Va, you auto lose this game. Now, I played this game, since the first day it came out, and I've played with every single character, and I've won a game with every single character to do that like MVP challenge thing. So I played with every character, and I've won a game with every character. There are some characters I've only played one match with, like Moira and Lucio and Reaper, because we just absolutely steamrolled them, and we won the game, and I just moved on to another character I hadn't won with yet. That took a number of tries, like Junker Queen or Ashe, who are both just freaking hot garbage. That sucks, and obviously there's no counter swapping in this game. We've all seen tank matchups that just go to show that this game can be won and lost in the character select screen, and that's always sucked when that's been the case in Overwatch's history, but no more so than this game mode. If one team has a Zarya and the other team has a D.Va, the team with the D.Va will never win, ever. It's not seriously, but 97% of the time, it's just not going to go your way. If you have an Orisa or a Reinhardt and a Mercy, and the enemy team has neither of those, the game's over. It's just over. It's a 4-0 or 3-0 every single time. I've yet to see that not happen in that case. Orisa and Reinhardt, with Reinhardt being the best, are just the best tanks in the game. Zarya can be playable. Obviously, dumpsters on Junker Queen and D.Va, just like the other two do. Zarya, she's got an insanely huge laser. She can double 2 people at a time if she wants. They can be giant bubbles. They can be thick daddy bubbles. But since everybody's kind of gotten used to and played the game and gotten used to, okay, these characters are strong, and this is how you should play them, because you tinkered a bit, but then you saw a build online that was really strong, or then you found a build that you yourself was really strong. They should have had the builds be searchable and favorable and auto fillable. Like, guys, if you're gonna take stuff from other games, go the full Monty. If you want to take something like what we've had with Deadlock, then go the full way. Have us have the build ready instead of okay, what was that build that I was building again? That is coming, but granted, that should have been a day one thing. So should sharing builds. That should have been a day one thing, but I digress. They're coming, and in the end run, it's not going to really matter. But there are issues, and I hate to be a doomsayer. I really, really do. This game could be fun and wacky, but right now it's not so fun and it's not so wacky because there are just super hyper dominant things. And it's like, they got rid of the super rockets and the super tac visor and the Bola build that Freya was doing, so everything should be fine. It's like, no, try winning a game with Junker Queen when the enemy team is running Reinhardt Mercy or Orisa Mercy. Try winning as D.Va now that she can't live forever as baby D.Va and get her tank back. Granted, I hated playing against that. That was like a secret build for 3 days before it got nerfed, that people found out about, and it was really annoying, and I hated going up against it. I forget what tank that I was at that time during that game. If I was a tank at all. Might have been DPS, don't remember. But yeah, that sucked going up against. But even with that build, it's not going to be as strong as just picking Reinhardt doing anything with a Mercy on his team, or Orisa doing anything. Well, not anything. Do you guys know that Orisa has an overheat build? I bet you didn't, unless you've played Orisa and you looked at those powers like, what, an overheat? That's stupid. Why would I do that? And then you didn't pick it, because of course you didn't. Nobody did. So there are some issues with builds in this game where it's like, okay, why would you build into the healing station build for Soldier when I can just have a chain gun that shoots super duper fast and has a ton of ammo, and or do this thing with visor and or rockets. Why would you do the healing station? I get, it's an ability. Let's try to make a build around it. That's all fine and dandy, and worked a lot with the supports. Like, there's many different ways you can mess around with Ana. You can do with the nade, or you can do the healing dart, or the big dart, explosive dart. There's a lot of different things you could do. But Ana's trash, and you should never pick her, so you can't even have fun with that. Oh, Lucio, he's super fun. I loved flying around with him and doing double super boops. And, maybe getting environmental kill. There's not a whole lot of environmental kill possibilities with these new maps, but there are some, and they can be fun. Killing a 800 HP Reinhardt with a super double boop with Lucio is kind of cool that's a possibility. But you have to pick Mercy and Juno or Moira. Moira's serviceable. Kiri is kind of serviceable, but guys, this is a game mode where everybody's super duper strong. And you can take a look at Overwatch's history. What characters have dominated the game? Those characters are outside of Junker Queen, because, again, she has no defensive capabilities. But she was super strong and too much at one point where she had to be nerfed when Overwatch 2 was first launched. But characters like Soldier, we knew what game would be like when Soldier was a super duper OP. And guess what? He's super duper OP, and he's doing a lot of those same things. Granted, in a different way because he's got all these wacky abilities, but we already knew what the game looked like when he was super duper strong. And there's no reason to pick Ashe because she's garbage. I mean, having Bob every 60 seconds and he's super duper tanky and lasts forever for some reason, that was, I don't like going up against that. But when she doesn't have Bob, she's useless. She has no mobility. She's a single shot character. You want the rapid fire characters. You want the soldiers. You want the Reapers. You want the Genjis. Genji and Mei are they're serviceable. That you can win with them. You can be super annoying with Mei. They did nerf her ability to be super annoying and do a lot of CC. But guys, Reaper is still Reaper. He can fly and be invincible now. And Soldier, you've all seen, I'm sure if you played this game mode for 5 seconds, you've seen what a super strong soldier can do. Or if you paid attention to the last minute of this gameplay, you saw what a super strong soldier can do. People are still complaining about Freya, and I'm sure she was super duper strong in those 2 days that she had that Bola build, but I have, as playing Freya, playing with a Freya, and playing against a Freya, Freya's hot garbage. I know that's a hot take. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that because people are still hating on Freya today. For whatever reason, I have not seen a Freya do jack shit in Stadium at any point. Sure, maybe her Bola build is just not great anymore. I tried doing the Bola thing, and I never played it when it was super strong. It sucks right now. And sure, I could do, the explosive bolts and get them more often, and then have a faster fire rate with the regular primary, and then flying in the sky. And they're like, she's such a problem now. Even still, we're going to add an anti-air thing. Guys, have you tried to fly as Freya recently? You got land blasted by the character that's everywhere in Soldier 76, who's pocketed by Mercy, who's everywhere. And Cassidy can also do that thing. She's just not doing much. Sure, I could land a double headshot sticky and kill something, but if they're getting healed, they are not dying. They can get rezzed, and it doesn't matter. Her ult is hot garbage compared to Visor or Blossom or Blizzard. Sure, Deadeye's not great, hasn't really ever been, but her Bola ultimate is also not very good. I don't know why people still say she's super duper OP and strong. I've yet to see it. I didn't play those 2 days where I assume and assure you she was OP based off of them taking things out of the game and everyone saying that she was super duper strong. But right now, she's the worst character in the entire game mode, in my opinion. At the very least, the worst DPS. Cassidy, if you're hitting headshots and you're getting pocketed by Mercy, yeah, you can be serviceable, but Cassidy, he kind of sucks. Yeah, he can get a lot of ammo and have a 9 or 10 ammo fan the hammer, and that's kind of crazy. But guys, Soldier can have 48 rounds and shoot them insanely fast and then hit you with 2 rockets and then auto aim right after. And that's not even the best shit that he can do. Or Reaper can teleport in while ulting for 3 seconds, then shoot a bunch, heal a bunch, be tanky, ult or not even ult, and then fly away while being invincible. So, yeah, I don't want to hear how strong Freya is or was when we have Soldier and Reaper doing the things that they are doing. They are, in my opinion, by far the best DPS. Maybe you hard disagree with me and you've had completely different experiences. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to what those tank matchups are. Like I said, I've won with every single character. I've won with Ashe. I've won with Junker Queen. I've won with Freya. But a lot of it has to do with like, well, we had a Zarya and they had a D.Va. This D.Va cannot do jack shit against me. It doesn't matter. They put, in case Genji or D.Va has to go up against lasers, we should have something to do with that because you can't counter swap. Okay, so they put in an item to help deal with lasers. They don't matter. They don't matter at all. And there's nothing they can do against my laser. Even if I didn't check specifically to see if this D.Va was running the anti-laser thing, but why wouldn't she be? Why wouldn't she be? And the first round, obviously, she can't unless she expects me to play Zarya. But obviously, I 4-0'd this match because why wouldn't I? I have lasers and they have D.Va. There's nothing that they can do. At least Genji has a ton of mobility and a small hitbox and still a good ultimate that can get 2 or 3 kills on squishies. Maybe, yeah, it's not going to do anything against Reinhardt or Golden Orisa, but still better than High Noon or the Bob that you don't get every 60 seconds if, you're just playing regular Bob, or, the bolas that don't do a lot of damage. It's not like there's a bola build that has them make up for the fact that everyone's way tankier and way more mobile, so everyone's harder to hit, and that explosion damage isn't going to do as much unless it's paired with something else like Death Blossom, or I think you see later on somebody follows up one of my Graviton searches with the bolas. That wasn't necessary, but it helped secure and guaranteed the kills. Zarya's laser can go across the entire map. You're not going to beat her with range very much anymore. You do want to blow up her bubbles still. She's always going to be at 100 no matter what. You can build it to 120 energy if you want to go down that route. You can have double bubbles on projectile bubbles. You can have giganto bubbles and obviously stronger bubbles. So there's no item against that. Sure, there are builds. There's like, oh man, I'm Soldier. I have a lot of ammo. Let's see what I can do against this Reinhardt shield. Nothing. I can build into the anti-shield thing, into the anti-armor thing, the critical headshot thing lowers healing thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm almost never going to come close to doing any sort of meaningful damage to a Reinhardt that isn't just trying to Leroy Jenkins every single fight. Even if they are, it doesn't matter because Mercy is the best fucking character in the entire goddamn game, because she could damage boost one of the super strong DPS for the entire fight. Maybe the tank is getting killed by the other tank or by the other support on your team or not. It doesn't matter. The tank can die. Then Mercy comes in with her 639 health plus armor and getting a guaranteed res because you used everything in the universe to kill that Rein or kill that Orisa or kill that Zarya, that you don't have enough to kill the 700 HP Mercy that comes flying in, and she's going to get that res, and after resing she's going to ult for 3 seconds because she can do that, and so you can't even follow up after the res to at least punish the bad res. It doesn't matter. Mercy can fly in the middle of 5 people, get off a res, no problem, and it doesn't matter what you did against that super strong tank. So it sucks that this game mode has so much wacky, fun, potential possibility, and they made it competitive, and the whatever is dealing with the queue times is insane, because like I haven't played a ton of support, but I played like, I don't know, maybe 10 games as support, and it says that my queue time is 12 minutes, but it's not, because I tried queuing when it said that, and it took 23 minutes. So don't know why it's off by that much. It's never been off by that before. Why is it that much in the first place? I don't know. All of a sudden, 80% of all players playing support? I highly doubt it. That wouldn't make a lot of sense for 600 reasons. But yeah, losing at the character select screen sucks. I get that they want this mode to not have any sort of counter picking into that. And they've thought about things like, oh, D.Va or Genji going up against lasers, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Look how late we are in the game. There's no way this D.Va isn't speccing into it. And I have so much more money than her because I can survive, because I have defensive capabilities. Sure, she has defense matrix and you can call it a defensive capability, but it's not a bubble. It's not two bubbles. It's not a shield. It's not a javelin spin. It's not a fortify. Nothing can come close. And that really sucks. This game mode could be fun and wacky. And they're putting a lot of love and attention into it and making a bunch of updates. And they are going to be adding more characters. But right now where it is, you're losing and winning at the character select screen. And that doesn't feel good. Everyone may be super strong, but there are some that are just way stronger than the others. And I don't see a way to counteract that. And it could get worse. Let's say when Ramattra comes out, he could be even tankier and better than Orisa and Reinhardt combined, possibly, with what he can do. Soldier may be an issue now, but what happens when they add Bastion? I don't know. Maybe they make Roadhog, they give him a bunch of things to where he doesn't have to have a shield to be good. He can just ult every 30 seconds like some of these other characters. There's fun to be had, there's wackiness, but there's a lot of issues, and this should not have a competitive carrot at the end of the stick. Make it just a quick play arcade mode that all people can play together with no matter what. It already has MMR, so let's not try to muddy the waters even further.